Hello Linux lovers, my name's Wimpy, welcome to my world. Extremely nervous about what's going on here. I'm trying some experiments and some of you have figured it out because apparently I've forgotten how to do the thing I shouldn't be doing. Hello Danny. So hello everyone. Somehow there is a thing that's public somewhere and that wasn't my intention. So some of you figured it out. You get the idea. I'm doing a bit of experimenting for the benefit of what I'm going to be doing on the work channel, where we'll be able to do the thing I'm doing now completely legitimately. So I'm trying stuff out. It appears to be working. For those of you that are regulars around here, you'll need to be on Twitch for this. There are a couple of new channel point redemptions that I've buried, which are trying out another new bit of kit. So I don't know if they're going to work or not. So that'll have you scrambling around. So yeah. We'll see how we get on. I'm struggling to keep up with what's going on because I have to look in different places. So that was Big Pod. There we go. You like this one, do you, Big Pod? I'm trying to gauge like what the latency's like, because things are going to be different because of the way that I'm doing this. So yeah, and also keeping track on the chat is going to be tricky because of the mess of it all.
Thanks for the resub, community time.
Hello Monica, thank you very much for the resub. Oh, somebody's found one. Who was that? Who figured that one out? I can't see who did that. It was Big Pod. Big Pod's found one of them. So there we go. We have a ghostly apparition. So this is testing out some other new stuff that I'm fiddling around with. And somebody else set another one off. It looks like, yes, you have. Doing them both at the same time. Oh my god, checks the GPU temperatures. Oh, okay, everyone's gone crazy. You're doing all of them. Right then. So, I might need to put some controls in place to prevent them all from going off at exactly the same time. But you get the idea. So yeah, so there's some new real-time visual processing filters that I'm experimenting with for funsies. So those of you that are elsewhere, hello, welcome. This was unexpected. It wasn't supposed to be clearly advertised in the way that it has been, but that's my mistake. That was my mistake. So yeah, we're it's fine that you're where you are watching and all the rest of it. This is a good sort of field trial. So although this beginning of this is a little bit sort of atypical because everyone's tinkering around and I'm sort of looking all over the place to make sure things are working as I look at my Twitch dashboard very carefully and wonder if that is indeed working. I'm not certain. I don't know. It certainly made the CPU, the GPU hurt because that was a lot of shaders running at the same time. So again, that's why I do these things. That's why there was only 4 of them rather than the full like list that I've been working on. Because we're figuring out stuff like that. So yeah, we don't want all of the shaders running all at the same time. That's probably not great. Yeah, this is the way we do it. So, welcome one, welcome all. I've got no idea how many people are watching because it's all over the show now. Right then, is Twitch dead? Is it actually? I don't know. I might turn those redemptions off if they cause too much trouble. So I think Twitch is okay. I'm looking down here. There's a lot of latency compared to what I would normally see. Sorry for doing sort of live, you know, testing and all the rest of it. I think what I'm going to do is just put my hands up so I can see. Oh my gosh, there. Just put my hands up so I can see when they appear on the other screen. The latency is significant, like loads, because that hasn't happened yet. So I think I'm a good 30 seconds ahead of all of you, which is not great, because that kind of instant feedback that we normally have on a stream, that's kind of desirable. So yeah, being the latency's loads, actually, absolutely loads. I still haven't seen my hands go up on either of the other streams. Right, I'm going to turn those other redemptions off because it's just killing things. So let's go in and just disable those, turn those off. There we go, your fun's over. Once these ones are finished, you won't be able to fiddle with them. Yeah, that's because Big Pod's genuinely trying to make my GPU cook. So yeah, I did the streams hold up where these things are going out? I mean, yeah, it really hurt the I'm looking at the two streams back now, and it just turns into a well, it's like one frame every half a minute. Does the audio still come through when it's doing that? Just let us know. I blame Big Pod as well. That's usually a safe assumption. Yeah, the ghosting is a new effect. But I've just turned the redemptions off. What we figured out is those visual effects are too much to run all at the same time, which is immediately what Big Pod has done. So I'll have to put some state management in there to prevent multiple things being triggered at the same time. But that's, you know, that's, I did say it was going to be experiments. The first bit of this was just going to be seeing does stuff work. So thanks, Monica. So when you say they froze, no audio either, right? Just everything comes to a grinding halt. Is that the so Twitch came to a grind? I guess I can watch them back later and I can get a gauge for what's going on. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, I am going to get in sort of the normal flow of things in a minute. I just thought we'd let all of that settle down. So I don't know what I did wrong in the other place, because how did this happen? It did not. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I guess that's from earlier when we were going crazy. Okay. And the other thing I was doing is I wanted to test how the Restream bot works for the chat. So Restream has this chat mirroring feature, which I'm thinking of using for work. And so far what I've learned is I'm not impressed. Because chat is now impossible to read unless... I don't know what it's like. Let's look at Twitch, actually. It's unless you're using the actual Restream client. I mean, most of you are on Twitch, so the Twitch chat looks fine. The other chat looks impossible to read, so we'll have to do better. We'll have to find a better option than that. That's for sure. So hello, if I'm not keeping up, hello to all of you that are stopping by. I did see Eric. Hello, how you doing? Welcome back. So yeah, I was just running a few stream experiments, but then we're going to get into it now and pick up where I was this morning. So working on a little thing called machinespawn, which is sort of a systemd container wrapper. What's this? Voting. Low spec Linux laptop. Hello, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the stream. You're watching where I was not expecting to be streaming, by the way. This is kind of it's fine. You can stay. I'm going to get into some stuff in a minute. But it wasn't supposed to be a public stream outside of Twitch. So I've made a bit of a boo-boo there. But you know, I'm learning. I'm just looking around. So audio went through okay, but the video froze. Okay, right. Well, that's all good feedback. So I know that those effects are tricky to work with. Welcome back, everyone, from this morning as well. So some of you are up to speed about what machinespawn is. Right, with that, I think we'll try and sort of get into the usual flow of it, and we'll see how we get on. Unexpected stream. Yes, it is an unexpected stream, Bogey, from where you are. Completely unexpected. It was supposed to be an unlisted one over there, but I made him. I've forgotten how to do it. It's been such a long time since I've used the tools there. I don't know how I made this mistake, but mistakes were made for sure. I just don't understand why it's not worked exactly as I expected. Anyway, everyone's welcome. So those of you that are stopping by from the other places, hello. I'll review what worked and all the rest of it a bit later on. But for work, this is something that I want to experiment. Well, what we want to start doing, we want to start streaming to multiple places at the same time, which is why we haven't gone with affiliate at Twitch for that. Hey, musical coder, hello, welcome back. Right, okay, well, let's see if the other stuff works. I don't think there's anything else I've checked. Well, obviously the chat overlay is different. So if we go here, I forgot to reset my thing. So there is something I want to highlight. In fact, some of the people that are involved in this, let's have a look. So we at Slim, so in the day job, we have launched our hackathon today with prize money to be won. So I'm going to paste this in the chat. I'm going to try and use these tools to do that. Hopefully that all comes through. Prize fund to be won, and we've got a bunch of judges lined up to judge this. You've got about 5 weeks, I think, to work on a project. So on this site here, you will find out how to join, what the requirements are, the judging criteria, and who you need to impress, which will be these fine people and me. So there we go. That's launched today. So if you've got a project in your back pocket you've been thinking of getting started, then maybe this is the time to get into it. Diddle Danny just tooted about it. Oh, tooted on their Twitter. Okay, I shall take a look at that later, Danny. Thank you very much. Oh, hey, Eric. I thought it was you, Eric. It was the aviator bit that gave it away as it happened, but I thought that was you. How's it going? You all set for beta on Thursday? No, not beta. Final release. Is it all? You all set and ready to go? Eric's the lead for Ubuntu Studio. So, let's see how we go. Apparently there are 6 people in the other place. Let's just pretend like it's all normal and nothing unusual happened, and we'll dive into it. Hey Cassie Dev, welcome back. You also tooted on that LinkedIn thingy as well. I need to do more of that LinkedIn thingy. I'm not a very good LinkedIn thingy user. Toots are for Mastodon. Yeah, I know. We deliberately mess around with things. Also, hello Gary. For those of you, let me do this over here. For those of you who have not been introduced to RW Grimm, that's Gary. He is many things, one of which is one of the co-hosts on Linux Downtime podcast with me, Joe Ressington and Hayden Barnes. And Gary is also the lead developer of Pidgin. Oh, I've just typed the wrong thing entirely. Let's try the. Oh, let's just try that again. And streams on Twitch. So this is Gary. So if you like a bit of Linux, and if you're here you probably do, then you should also head over to Gary's channel for when he's streaming stuff as well. You've been streaming a lot as well, haven't you, Gary? We were exchanging some metrics the other day. Made me feel like a complete beginner, I have to say. Hello, Proton Beamed. Welcome back. How you doing? Has everyone had a good day, for those of you that are here this morning? So, hackathon, prize money up for grabs, sensible prizes as well. Look, we recognise that there could be a lot of effort involved here. So, if you don't think you're going to enter, but you know somebody with a good idea, then maybe get them to enter. I'm fascinated to see what gets cooked up. So, because that's sort of, container-related stuff, it's completely accidental, of course, that I've been working on a container-related project just recently as a bit of personal interest. So, we're going to get back to that. So, this isn't on GitHub yet. This is a bit of code that is moving from prototype to project. I think it might be a little bit idiosyncratic. I'm not sure if it's going to be widely useful, but I can already see it's going to be useful to me. So I'm going to be pushing on with it. I'm going to keep going with it and see how we go. So Gary says I need to be over here. Gary says he did 30 plus consecutive days of streaming and is now back to a more sustainable schedule. I know what you mean. I find the every other day is about sustain. I'm obviously doing 2 today, but that's because I wanted to test some stuff, and I am happy doing that testing on my channel and making a mess rather than making a mess on the work channel. So that we're here making mess. And also I just wanted to have a little bit of a tinker with the script again. So yeah, I can imagine every day. I mean, I can understand it if you're like, a full-time indie game dev and you're doing Twitch streaming as sort of a side hustle with a bit of YouTube and what have you. I can understand how that might, work. But I am not productive when I'm trying to code and stream as I am if I just sit here, dim the lights, put the music on and just, head down and work on stuff. Put a link in chat, please. So Cube Sudoer, a link to what is it you're asking for? I'm sure we can help. Welcome to the stream, by the way. So this is what I've been working on. Let's get into this. We'll wait for Cube Sudoer to let us know what they were referring to, and we'll see what we can do to help. So it, of course, is one of my fine shell scripts, and it's basically 2 things at the moment. It's a wrapper around machine control from systemd, and also deb bootstrap. So it can instantiate containers in a couple of different ways. For the hackathon, totally can. Yes, more than happy to help. In fact, I've got a great idea. Let's do this. Let's start by doing some cruise control. Let's do this. So Wimpy's World, cruise control. So we will get you what you're looking for. We're going to do it in a nifty way.
Thank you for the follow, Craig Lilly.
Hello, Craig. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So we're going to look at triggers and chat commands. So this is something I've been using for a little while now to run my own chatbots and chat timers. So we added this one this morning. So here you go. If anyone does bang T in the Twitch chat or any of these other ones, you'll get some stuff back. So again, we'll just do that, and we'll do this. We'll do hackathon. There we go. There's our keyword, and we will say Slim AI are running an extended hackathon. Let's spell it the right way and everything. Let's throw in some emoji from October, is it 25th to December 5th? I forget the exact dates, but we'll go and get those in just a second. Prize money available up for grabs. We'll sort out all the typos in a moment. Learn more here. So let's go and grab the URL, which is going to be here. So this is where the you can sign up for the hackathon. And let's just get this. So what was the dates? It was the 24th to the 5th. That's close. 24th to the 5th. So that should do it. So we'll save that. I will reload my cruise control. If I actually spell the words correctly, and then we can just do bang hackathon, and there we go. Spits that out in the chat. So there you go. Who was that asking for that? Cube Sudoer. There you go. There's the link you need. Thank you for your patience. But I just wanted to show off cruise control. It's something that we've all been enjoying here recently. So yeah, we're working on that. I'm famous. No, Yannick, no. Right, I saw RWM. Also, since I know the judges, I probably shouldn't enter this contest. No, it's okay for people that know the judges to enter. That's absolutely fine. It's just not fine for the judges to enter this competition. Although I'm going to be tinkering with some little projects to sort of as inspiration. Although annoyingly, I'm going to be away toward the end of the week for a week. So the first week of the hackathon, I won't be around so much. So Big Pod, I believe, is going to be stepping in and doing some stuff for that. But when I get back, I'll be jumping in and doing some things on stream for that. Right, okay.
Thank you for the follow, Michael_Lily.
Oh, Michael Lily. Hello. Are you any relation of Craig by any chance? Welcome to the stream. Right then. Right. What? Yannick can enter. In fact, I strongly recommend that Yannick does enter. Right then. Let's pick up with this. So we're done with cruise control. Cruise control is great though. Oh, well, that's very kind of you, Cube Sudoer. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. Ah, your brothers. Okay. Well, hello, Michael and Craig. Welcome to both of you. Thanks for stopping by. Right then, so I was working on this morning, and I think this morning I folded a little bit of code here. I realized I didn't need to do this twice, which I was doing, and we broke up the some of this stuff to configure the way that the bootstrapping for Debian and Ubuntu work. So we stuffed some things in variables. So that was really just a minor refactor, just to sort of tidy it up and not repeat code more than once. So consequently, we only have one dev bootstrap now. We just shove in the appropriate components here, the repo being configured correctly for both earlier up, and then we now have, you know, this spitting out the apt repo, reusing the components. So you'll see up here the components are comma delimited because that's how they need to be used in the dev bootstrap, with commas between them. But in apt repos it needs to be spaces, so we're just using some string replacement in bash to turn those commas into spaces. So just a nice convenient way to sort of do some string conversion. So this is all fine, and that's, I think, all I changed. But what I did also do is hello again Big Pod. What I did do is make up a little list of to-do items that I thought would be sensible. What's going on, Big Pod? In and out? I don't know. So I'm going to try and burn down a few of these things on the list today. And for those of you that weren't here this morning, we do have one slightly unusual piece here. So machine control can do pull tar, like so, where you give it a URL to a file system tarball and it will just download that and import it. But there is a bug in systemd-249 that breaks that feature. So what we've done here is we've got a conditional that says if we're running systemd-249, we actually use our own little built-in function to download the tarball, and then we import it with machine control as a sort of a compatible workaround. So using this wrapper, it works around the bug that exists in systemd. And this is widespread, and it still affects Ubuntu 22.04 because the patch hasn't made it into the release updates yet. So I very much need this. Okay then, so that's that explanation out of the way. So let's take a look. I think we'll do adding a list command to start with, because that's nice and easy. So this works a bit like a finite state machine. You can only have one action at a time, so we don't need to do anything too fancy. So we're going to have a new thing called list, and what we'll do is, because machine control has a list images, we'll honour both list images, and the other thing I'm doing, which is a bit weird, is that machine control can manipulate VMs and containers, but I'm only interested in manipulating containers, not VMs with this tool. Maybe in the future I might look at the features of the VM management, but we've got QuickEmu already, which is a little project that manages VMs. So we'll just do that. So we'll do container list, and this should be nice and simple. We can just copy that. We can do container list. We don't need to pass anything into it. We can just do list images. Just wrap that feature. So if we now sudo machinespawn list, but we might, so there are none at the moment, but also list images should do exactly the same thing. So as we don't have an image at the moment, I wonder if Yannick can guess what we're going to do. I wonder if he can guess what it is before I finish doing it. So we're going to bootstrap an Ubuntu Jawi image, and we're going to be calling it Bob. Ubuntu var cache bootstrap. Oh, so We shouldn't be getting that error message. We shouldn't be getting that error message. That's actually legit. So we do cache. Call it Bob. There we go. So I wonder if I can just go into the settings here. There's something about this this thing I don't like. Ah, there we go. Get rid of that. There we go. We'll just try turning message hiding off. This is collapsing these chat windows a bit too quickly for my liking. Chat notifications. Right then. Right, let's go back there so I can see all of the inputs. So we do cache the bootstrapping. So it says warning, it already exists. Which is fine. So actually I've introduced an error, a logic error, when I created this. So I refactored it earlier. This machine control import file system should always trigger, yeah. Because we should say if the dev bootstrap directory doesn't exist, then go and do the bootstrapping. Otherwise, say, well, we've already got a bootstrapped cache, so if I go back there, we'll now rerun this again, and it should just, there we go, should just do the import of the file system, so it didn't have to go through that lengthy process of pulling down the bare distro. So now we can do machinespawn run, and our container is called Bob. So there we go, we're now in our container Bob, and we can apt update and upgrade. So this, we're back in business. This is back where we were, so we'll do this upgrade because why not. And the other thing that this machinespawn does is if you've installed apt-cacher-ng on the host, it will automatically hook into that apt-caching proxy. So, you know, subsequent containers installing stuff or recreating them time after time will be quicker and quicker because all of those packages will be cached locally. So that's all working just fine. So let's, I have to say, I didn't notice this. You could maximize and, you know, minimize the Visual Studio Code terminal until maybe a couple of months ago. And now I've found it, I do this all the time now. Just switch between editing and being in the terminal. So we've got our list in, so that's good. Let's see, what else would be good? So this is going to be a good one. I want to change from using code names to versions, because earlier on when I was adding the Debian support, it was a bit confusing. Well, basically my brain can't hold all of these code names that begin with B in my head and remember which order they came in. So we're going terminaling, is that what it is? So we're going to switch this around from being codename based to version based to make it easier to work with. So we will now look at distro release there, and we will change this. This is going to be, in fact, each of these will be different, right? So we'll do like so. There. In fact, I'm doing this slightly wrong. So we'll just do this. We'll start with this is going to be 12, and the distro. So I think what we'll do is we'll change this to distro version, and then we'll say distro version here, and then we will say 10 distro release equals bookworm. So that should be fine. And I wonder if I need to... Yeah, I think we will. I think we'll need to do something. We'll need to do nested... but we can do it up here. So we'll take all of those and drop that in here, because I want to support more than just Ubuntu and Debian with this. So we'll be able to put more, although these two will be the only ones that use this bootstrap mechanism. Oh, that was wrong. So that's going to be 11. Hey, who's this?
Thank you for the follow in decision tree.
Thank you very much for the follow in decision tree. Welcome to the stream. Let's do that. We'll then have 10 here. Same arrangement. This is Buster. This is 9. So stretch, and this must be 8. Right. So let's just do that. There we go. So that should be fine. We'll do a catch-all unsupported Debian version. That was GitHub Copilot doing its finest there. Just doing exactly what I needed. I didn't have to type any of that. I loved it. Right then, so that's good, and we now need to terminate this here, and then we'll do something similar with all of these. We're just going to get rid of that. So in the Ubuntu components, we'll stick those there. We'll grab this. We'll just drop that in directly, and so we got Xenial, that was 1604. So 1804, 2004, 2204, and the release that comes out on Thursday, 2210. So we'll just put all of these release names in. This is going to be Kinetic. This was Jammy, Vocal, and Bionic. Very fond memories of the Bionic Beaver t-shirts from the French loco. Right, how's that looking? Have we got all the right things in all the right places? Unsupported Ubuntu version. That's what we'll have here. There we go. Some nice simple mapping tables. Machinespawn Windows terminal. What? What's this? Is this an idea, Yannick? How would that work? So, I'm not a fan of this. Oh, I've done my... I forgot I could do that. Late night stream. Hello, Tommy. Yes, it is. It's an evening stream. How you doing? Did you figure out your employment law inquiries that you were asking about earlier? Whoops. Oh, crikey, what have I done over there? Launched things in the background. Right then, let's have a look. Does that look like it's going to do the right thing? Distro version, distro release. So we set distro release. We bomb out if we don't know about it. If it's an unknown distro name, we bomb out, so that's all protected. We drop in here and we use distro release there, so that should be fine. The only thing we need to do is say local distro release and just set that to nothing. Keep shell check happy. Hello, Hapelico. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. How are you? Who's redeeming this one, Tommy? I haven't told anyone my password is test today, Tommy.
Thank you for the follow 0MNI_1.
Hello, Omni1. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Right, okay. I think we're looking in good shape. So let's try this out now. We'll now try the sudo machinespawn. We'll bootstrap ubuntu 2210 because that's the version number now, and we'll call this one Colin. There we go. So that appears to be, well, it's doing something. Whether it's bootstrapping the right version of Ubuntu or not, we'll have to find out in a moment. But at first glance, it looks like it's doing something helpful. Oh, sorry, Monica. Did you want me to call the container Simon? Was that? Were you voting for the name of a container there? Yes, welcome. For those of you that haven't been around here before, welcome. If you like a bit of Linux in your life, then you're among friends. What am I doing? Well, I will do this. So we have a chat command called bangsup, and I've just typed it in there, and it gives a quick intro. So today, the last couple of streams I've been working on an idea for a project, and it's called machinespawn, and it's a wrapper for machine control and deb bootstrap and other things, to sort of be a wrapper for container management. No, it's a wrapper to orchestrate containers in a simple way.
Thank you for the follow, Dmitry Maximov Galera.
Wow, that is an impressive name. I love it. Welcome to the stream. It's really for creating like containers for build environments locally, but the idea is that this same tooling could be used in CI/CD to stand up containers in your CI/CD for specific versions of distros. At the moment I'm focusing on Debian and Ubuntu, but I'm going to add others, so that you can run your CI job. So you have a VM that runs your CI job, but you can spark up any number of containers in different configurations.
Thank you for the follow, Haploco.
Hey Haploco, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. So it came from an idea. There's a project I've been working on these streams recently, which is portable builds of OBS Studio for Ubuntu. And Danny, who I think is still with us, took the build scripts that I created that use this technique and got them all working in GitHub Actions. And that kind of just sparked my interest. So we've just quickly bootstrapped a container which we've called Colin. So we should be able to run Colin. And if we cat etc os release, it is indeed the kinetic kudu. So this is all correct. Good. And so yes, and Yannick is saying here that Yannick is French guy CH. He's going to be using machinespawn, this thing that I'm making here, into a Flutter plugin, so that he can build his apps on many platforms. So I think it's a little bit idiosyncratic, because I was just saying, for work we do a lot of work with containers of all varieties, and I was just talking about hackathon we're doing with work, but we use Docker and all sorts of stuff. And I could be doing this with Docker, but I wanted to try something different. So I could be using LexD or Podman or Docker or any number of things. But this particular workflow I've been using specifically in the past for building like foreign images. And what I mean by that is like images of ARM operating systems, but building them on x86 workstations, which is something else I'm going to get going on this. And maybe I'll get to do that this evening. We'll give it a try in a bit. Because I want to be able to build for different architectures inside these containers as well, which I think is becoming a more common use case for a lot of developers now, targeting different architectures. So let's see how we're doing on the list here. So we've moved over to versions, not code names. And I said I wanted to have discrete caches for the bootstrap directories and the tarballs. So that we can take a look at. So
Thank you for the follow H_B93.
hello HB93, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. You know what? I'm just gonna change something. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna disappear, I don't think. I'm just going to change the configuration slightly, because I'm also doing a little experiment which we were messing around with at the start of the stream, but I've learned some things from that, and what I've learned is we'll do this. So there we go. We'll go back to our usual configuration. There we go. Right then, so I'm not happy with the way the Restream chat does its chat overlays. It's a bit rubbish. So I'm going to have to go away and do some more homework on that one. So we can have a cache directory. So we'll say this is the bootstrap cache. We'll call that cache now. And we'll have another one called... Oh, actually, no. I think what we'll do is this. Machine. Ah, right. We'll call it machinespawn cache. Like so. And we'll put that in var cache. Machinespawn. And the bootstrap cache is going to be the machinespawn cache, like so. And then we'll have another cache which is we'll call it the pull-tar cache, because this is for pulled tarballs file systems. And we'll put that in pull-tar. So now those are discrete. And we don't need that. So hopefully bootstrap dir. So let's change that all over. Replace bootstrap dir to boot strap cache. There's 8 of those. I'm just gonna YOLO that. And we'll also make the pull-tar cache here as well. And when we do the pull-tar operation, we need to stick its assets in the right cache. Pull-tar, so instead of bootstrap cache, we'll have pull-tar. So I wonder what machine control does. You know what? I'm tempted just to throw that away. Because the benefit of this, what we're doing here is we've got our own downloader, which downloads the tarball, sticks it in the cache. So, I'm just having to think. I don't think this is the decision I need to make at the moment, but potentially we could just use our own wrapper, which works around the system debugs, and put some additional checks in for the caching. Oh, Michael Lilly has read some words. Okay, let's have a little look here. Michael Lilly says, I hope it's okay, but I sent you a message in Discord asking about portable OBS. If you get some time in the future, you can help. Sure, I'll take a look. By all means, you know, expand on what you were inquiring about here, because we have some other OBS experts in the stream here. So, you know, if it requires a collective answer, it's a good time to dig into these things. Hello. Hello, you. How are you? I haven't seen you in forever. How's things? So, I think we'll just leave that for the moment, but we do need to... It's putting that in the right cache, so that's okay. So I think I'll just go and trash my... well, we'll do a couple of things. First of all, we'll get rid of Bob, because, you know, Yannick doesn't need Bob. We don't need Colin either. We'll get rid of... no, we won't. We won't get rid. We'll test that list does the right thing. There are no images left. And I think I've got some caches that we can get rid of now. So it was Bootstrap. There we go. Huh. I've got a cache called Bob. Oh, because this machine is where I was doing some of the very early prototyping before we built in all of the name conventions. But I don't need to see that verbosely. So we'll just trash that cache. That's unnecessary. We are going to bring back Bob from the dead right now, in fact, Yannick. So we're going to do this again, and we're going to use machinespawn, bootstrap. Let's do an Ubuntu 22.04 and we'll call it Bob. So there is no cache because we're using there's a new directory now to hold this cache, but there is a cache because, of course, this transparently hooks into apt-cacher-ng, so we're getting all of the benefit of at least having all of that stuff, so we're not having to reach out to the internet. It's a very handy technique when you're live streaming to not swamp your internet connection with a bazillion gigabytes of, you know, container stand up. Bob is back indeed. Hello, Sin Devil Love Pie. That is a wicked username. I like that. Am I working on something for Hacktoberfest or just your own project? Bit of both. This is a project which doesn't live in GitHub yet, but hopefully at the end of this stream it will. But we have been doing a number of Hacktoberfest mini events on streams here. We kicked off Hacktoberfest right at the beginning, and last Friday we created a mini event for one of the projects we work on here to help popularize a bunch of different things. So this is not Hacktoberfest yet, but I'm just trying to bootstrap the project, and I might jam this into a GitHub repo at the end of this stream, and at that point then I expect the usual suspects who frequent these parts to dig in and help with improving my shonky work. Okay, I shall call you Pi. I will try and remember that. I do try my best to remember people's preferences for names. I do the best I can. I sometimes get it wrong. Anyway, Bob is back. So now we've bootstrapped Bob, we can run that container and etc OS release, and it is indeed the right version. And if we jump out of there, we should now be able to look at var cache machinespawn and see two directories. One is the bootstrap, and there we have cached an ubuntu 2204. So what we're going to do now is bootstrap another container, Bob's friend Colin, and it's also going to be ubuntu 2204, and this should just do the import. There we go. So that now stands up that container much faster because we have a cache to run from. In fact, I'm getting confused with my runs and my bobs there. So we're going to run Colin now, and in Colin we'll do an apt update. There we go. Hey Padza, how you doing? Welcome back. Sindev, I love pie. Okay. Yeah. So I'm Wimpy, and the channel's Wimpy's World. The number of people on Twitch when I go raiding call me Wimpsy. Oh my god. If only we could have spaces in our Twitch handles, that would solve all the problems. So that worked, and we'll do an upgrade. And again, these are reaching out to our cache transparently. The wrapper automatically injects. Thank you for the follow,
M0Lock88.
Hello Moloch88. Well, oh, M0 Lock, is that? It's difficult unless you look at all of the places where the usernames are printed out. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the stream. So we've got that's all working nicely. So what was the next thing on the to-do list? We can go and scratch some things off the list here. We have done that. Support for other distros. So here we go. As there is a decent number of people in here, I would like to add support for any other mainstream distro. I think Arch would be good. I think Fedora would be good. SUSE, OpenSUSE would be good. So what I'm looking for is, where do those projects, or do those projects, publish what I would call cloud images? Basically tarballs of root file systems, because then we can use the pull tar function to bring those in and stand up those other distros. So if anyone knows where any of those, oh, in fact, we got Fedora maintainer here. If you can let me know where the Fedora stuff is, Neil, apt-cacher-ng Kudu, we've met in real life, and I know that that's Neil. Hello Neil. And is a Fedora and SUSE maintainer. Do you know if those sort of file system tarballs exist? If so, can you poke some links in, and I could do like the first bits of that. I'm going to have a go at this architecture stuff. At least prototype it. We're going to do a very quick and dirty hack.
Thank you for subscribing, M0Lock88.
Thank you very much for the sub. That's very kind. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, let's have a little think. Thank you, Neil. That would be ace. I really appreciate that. It's great having so many useful people hanging out in the stream. Otherwise, I'd have to bust out the Google foo. But I've got an expert in the chat that is gonna give me proper advice. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a dirty hack just to test the theory. We in fact, that is almost what I need to do. GitHub Copilot. We're actually going to do ARM64 like that. So we are now going to spin up another container, and I've hard coded that in there deliberately just to see if it works. So we're going to dev bootstrap. It doesn't actually matter what version of Ubuntu we do, but we'll call this one Pi. And there's a bug, an unforeseen bug. So we're going to have to tag the architecture on the names of the bootstrapped caches. Okay, so this is why you prototype these things quickly, because first bug found. So our directory, it's distro full dash arc, like so. You don't need anything else. We'll say architecture. We might need a better variable name, but we'll default it to AMD64, and we'll provide the means to override it. So hello Cubicle Nate. Hello there. You found the super secret entrance to the stream. I say super secret. It wasn't so super secret, but you have indeed found the way in, the back door, the hidden entrance. So congratulations and welcome. How you doing? I haven't spoken to you in forever. How's things? You're doing the Linux Saloon stuff now, aren't you, on that there YouTube? So there we go. That's somewhere for people to go and find after this. Hey Firelocks, welcome to the stream. How you doing? So there might be a bit of a struggle with Arch. Is that are you referring to I run Arch, by the way, or Arch as in my choice of variable names? So let's just do this. We'll say if what are we going to do here? If yes, that's what exactly. GitHub Copilot got straight in there. There we go. God, it's brilliant, isn't it? Bloody love it. It's so good. I see you're still liars. I'll wait, Big Pod. You take your time. Big Pod and I work at the same company. For some reason, Big Pod's still working, and I'm done for the day. I don't quite know how this works, but it sucks to be you, Big Pod. Yes, you see, it's because you do all the important work. So, Nate says yes, I'm doing the Linux Saloons on Saturday, but I think the time is not good for you. Yeah, weekends are tricky for me. Really sort of family focused at the weekends. I'm trying to squeeze in some sort of this hour streams at the weekend, but when it gets to this time of night on a Saturday or a Sunday night, well, the other day there's the games. This is a Steam console, Linux of course, and the ease of which I can just spin the chair around, pick up the controller and play some games means that, yeah, not much streaming happens at the weekend. Mostly playing games with my daughter. It's great. So you run, so Firelock says they run Mint and Carly, by the way. Majoring in information security at college. Excellent.
Thank you for the follow, John Lego 100.
Hey John, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's bouncing tonight, isn't it, Monica? Yeah, it's nice. I must do this more often. It's like there's another large country on the other side of the world. I usually stream in the morning. For those of you that are watching this and maybe you're in the US, I usually stream in the morning UK time, European time. So I'm trying to mix things up a little bit these days. Catch more of my friends in that there America land and Canada, and some friends even in Hawaii if I stay up really late. Right, so we've now got the architecture being pulled in. So I need to add a potential third option to the bootstrap command, a potential fourth. So if we provide a fourth, we'll just assume that it's architecture, and then up here we'll do something similar. In fact, this is what we'll do. We'll do this. We'll do case the third parameter in and we'll say if it's in, yeah, this is basically the idea. If it's in AMD64 ARM v7, I'm gonna have to remember them all now. I mean, yeah, we're probably gonna have to, oh man, we're gonna have to filter this by distro because different distros use different architecture. So I'll oh no, this is bootstrapping, so this is Debian and Ubuntu only, so that's fine. So I think it's just ARM v7 and ARM 64. So if it's any of those, we'll just say that architecture is that, and that can all be in one place. Otherwise, we'll say, we'll just assume that architecture is AMD 64. We should probably change that to be whatever the architecture of the running host is, but we'll dodge that for now. We'll just put a to-do in here. So that's finished that case there. So is that got what we need? We don't need that anymore. Oh yeah, we do. We need that. And we'll put that down here. I think that makes sense. It makes sense in my head anyway. So I'm not certain about this, and we're not going to bother with i386 at the moment because that's only relevant on older. It's available on Ubuntu. Oh, we'll have to catch it, won't we? So we'll never die. So I can see why it'd be useful as well. I've got some projects in mind where I would actually want to be able to stand up a 32-bit container. Right then, so I've got some questions coming in here. Hello. So let's have a little look here. What key do you use in VS Code to jump to the end of a line? I use the end key, which is that key right there. I use that key to jump to the end of a line. It's got a clever name and everything, so yeah, that's what I use for that. And what else? Windows keyboard. So no Windows key required. Just end. Yeah. Hey Honey Badger, how you doing? Why do you choose Bash over Python for this type of project? Welcome to the stream, by the way. Why do I choose Bash? Well, where do I start? I am the internet's purveyor of the finest shell scripts, and for stuff like this, I only use Python if I'm doing something where I need the facilities of Python. All I'm doing here is executing a bunch of commands that exist. You know, you could do all of this just by using machine cuttle and deb bootstrap by hand. And really all I'm doing is collecting some parameters and stuffing them into those commands, and using anything more sophisticated than a shell script doesn't seem to be necessary. You know, I'm just calling some commands, passing some variables around. I do wish, well, I'm not sure I wish. Certainly QuickMU and debget are getting to a level of complexity now where maybe, I mean, QuickMU started as a bit like this, a quick and dirty shell script, but it's grown in sophistication. So maybe another language might be beneficial there. Debget, I think, is fine generally speaking because that's a wrapper for apt. The main complexity with that now is we made it a monolithic script that had the configuration built into the script, and that was a mistake. So we're currently in the process of ripping that out. Pi says it's Arch64. It is on Arch Linux. It's not on Debian and Ubuntu. And this particular function I'm working on here is a function that wraps Deb Bootstrap. So it's only for Debian and Ubuntu. So I think these are correct for Debian and Ubuntu. I think. We'll find out. You know, now I've said that, I'm actually not sure. Let me go and look at another project quickly. So we've got another project where we actually build these images, and that project is Retro Home. So let's look here. What do we actually do in here? Does this set the architecture? It doesn't. Oh no, because that's not the bootstrap piece. Image arc. Yeah, ARM64. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So I think we're all right. I think we're all right. We'll just get rid of that. Right then. Aha. Neil has returned. Hello, Neil. Right, so let me just bring up your feedback, Neil. So, you're not going to have a DNF-based Bootstrap 2. No, I don't think so. I'm quite happy to use... I mean, for Ubuntu even, I could have used the cloud images, the tarball things. But I wanted to keep the bootstrapping around because it's really useful. It's really useful here for stuff I do locally. It's a workflow I use. You can do foreign art bootstrap for any RPM distro. Oh, hang on a minute. So I think it won't be necessary. So that's good information. If you can point me at some reference material on that, that would be great. But what I've seen, like the Ubuntu images, they produce tarballs of PowerPC and S390 and ARM64 and ARMHF. In fact, actually, that's what the ARM is up here. It's not ARM v7, it's ARMHF. So which stands for hard float for those of you that aren't familiar. And I think using this function here, which can pull in a tarball, we could probably derive the intended architecture. In fact, we don't need to, because machine couple does it all. We can import the tarball here, and I suppose I'm just hoping that machine couple does the right thing and QEMU user static will just jump in and save the day. We'll have to find out. If it doesn't work, that's fine. I can put guardrails on that, but we'll see what we get. So, DM'd you a reference about that. Okay, thank you, Neil. All right, well, maybe that is tomorrow's stream. Then I'll take a look at what you've sent, and tomorrow we'll actually get about the business of adding support for a couple of other distros. Now, where was I? I was trying to hack in architecture support into the bootstrapping. So look at parameter 3. If it's any of those, we consider it legit. Do this, and then I think we probably need here just a message for now to do gate i386 on Ubuntu. Oh, it knows. Crikey, look at that. GitHub Copilot, I love you. I love you. So that's something I need to deal with. So the path to the cache should now be set here and we tag on the end arc, because we always want it to be architecture specific. And I think I'll just add a to do here as well. To do default to the host architecture rather than AMD64. It's a reasonable assumption, but we'll actually introspect the host architecture and default to that. So there's some improvements we need to make. So okay, let's try this now. Let's go back to what we were doing here. So we ran this. We said let's try and bootstrap an Ubuntu 22.04 image called Pi, and this one will make ARM64. So let's see what happens this time. I'm expecting things to explode. Now, when you get this wrong, it can be very exciting. I have successfully what the heck am I looking at there? No such file or directory. Machinespawn. Etsy default. No such file. So couldn't download. Oh, of course. Right. We need to change the. We need to change the repository if we're using anything other than. Right. Okay. So this archive piece here. Where do we set the archive? Up here. So I don't know about Debian yet because I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure for Ubuntu we should say another case statement. Why not? Right. So we'll just say I think we can say, if we say AMD64 or i386, archive equals that. And then for everything else, I think we want to say, yeah, it knows. Did you see that? GitHub Copilot to the rescue. It knew. It bloody knew. That's amazing. I'm not sure if that's actually correct. Let's just open up this one, this project again, which does have the correct repository configuration in it. Let's just have a quick look. Oh my god, this is a big one. There we go. It's just ports.ubuntu.com. There we go. I didn't think we needed this. So I think that will work now. So let's come back down here. Let's just clear this because it's getting a bit murky. And so we're going to redo that with ARM64, and it already exists. So we'll do machinespawn, remove, what did we call it? Pi. That's gone, and now we'll bootstrap it again. Already exists. The bootstrap exists, but there's nothing in it. So yeah, this is because we've had too many failures. So we probably need a. Oh, I think I've got it, haven't I? Oh, actually, we probably need to update clean cache as well. Okay, well, as I need that utility, and I don't think it's actually going to do the right thing anymore because of the changes we've made. Clean cache, let's go and update it. Oh, it's never going to know, is it? Oh no, that's fine. No, that's not fine. This is completely broken. Let's put a big to do in here. Refactor, new cache location, and for the moment we'll just return from this we'll just stub that out. I'm going to have to do it by hand. So let's go and deal with this. So, Honey Badger, in VS Code, Control J will open and close the terminal. And remember if it's full screen. Well now, what was that? Control and J. Well, it opens and closes it, that's for sure. maybe I've tinkered with my configuration and broken that feature. Our podcast. How are you getting on with OBS Portable then? Yep, exactly. This is exactly what I'm doing, Eric. So Eric is saying that, you know, multiple self-contained OBS setups, one for screencasts, video interviews, streaming. Exactly. I know you can do it all with, you know, profiles and scene collections, but in my experience, OBS crashes 9 times out of 10 when you switch between profiles and scene collections. So now I just have a discrete thing. And once it's set up and working, that's it. I can just leave it alone. I've got about half a dozen now, and I just love working this way. It's really nice. And of course, if you look at all of the sort of OBS tweakers that are on Windows, they all use portable versions of OBS. And in fact, I've now learned some of the more sophisticated effects that I've seen, they actually have multiple instances of OBS running that actually talk to one another using WebSocket messages. So I've been learning about WebSocket messages as well, which Yannick Cruise Control can do. So quick OBS as well. Yeah, we should. I need to add those chat commands for these projects because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Right, so that's not going to cut it for us. So let's. So I think I've just been told that if I Control J, it doesn't do anything. Oh, that's not Control. That's why. There we go. Ahaha! Right, that's the ticket. I understand now. So thank you, Honey Badger and Pi, for explaining that optimization in workflow. That's great. So var cache, machine spawn, and what have we got here? Ubuntu. No, deb. Let's get rid of that. Let's try and use the right flags and everything. Okay, and then let's do this and see what have we got. So we've got Bob, Colling and Pi, so we'll actually use this to remove Pi. Okay, so let's try bootstrapping Pi again. Hope it works this time. That's working better, isn't it? Okay, so this is now creating an Ubuntu 22.04 ARM64 container on my x86 workstation. Yes, this is live. Hello, how you doing? DT WAF. Yes, you have found the super secret entrance to this live stream. You're elsewhere on the internet, but yes, this is live. Right then. So, the reason why this one's taking longer to stand up is because we don't have an apt cache in our caching proxy yet for the ARM64 packages. So this one's going to take a bit longer to stand up this first time because it's having to reach out to the internet and grab all of those packages. But we'll stand up a second one in a little minute, and it should go much quicker because the cache should be nice and warm. So I'm just going to, whilst that's going, I'm just going to have a little look in a couple of corners of the internet. So that's there. Okay, interesting. And what are we doing here? Huh. Interesting indeed. So for those of you that are watching not on Twitch, how did you find that they were streaming somewhere else, just out of curiosity? I did make a mistake, which I can't afford to make a second time, but it is what it is now, so we're going with it. Right. Oh, you're going to be cooking this evening, Monica. Yeah, nice. What are you doing? Yeah, so at some point I'm going to archive OBS fully loaded, I think. I've got one issue I need to fix. But as I was demonstrating earlier, if I just switch into this mode, I can do this and hopefully not break everything. If I do this, I was experimenting with some new features, one of which is this ghostly apparition.
Thank you for the follow in Night Dweller.
So we broke everything using those earlier because Big Pod decided to kick off about 60 million of them all at the same time. Thank you very much for the follow, A Night Dweller. Welcome to the stream. If you like a little bit of Linux in your life, you're among friends. Right, wow, this is taking a lot longer to stand up. Oh, of course. So the other reason why this is taking longer to stand up is we're running an ARM container on an x86 workstation. So that has a little bit of an impact, because what I have to do is syscall translation in order to execute those ARM binaries on our workstation. And so this is why this is taking longer. So DTWAF, I am not the person who made the Mate desktop environment, but I am one of the people that's involved in making it. But I absolutely didn't create it. That was an Argentinian guy called Perberos who originally did the fork from GNOME 2. I'm just one of the people that works on it now.
Thank you for the follow, Nudgy Kadan.
Hey, Nudgy Kadan. Is that right? That seems about right. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So, there we go. This container is up. And we've called it Pi. So if we just do a list, we can see that there it is. And now we'll do run Pi. So at this point, we are now inside an ARM64 container. So if we cat etc os release, all of this is fine. But if we do, how can we can't do that, so how do I prove? Let's do apt update. We do apt update. There you can see we're now pulling in from the ports repository rather than the regular archive. So this is where all of the non-x86 package archives exist for Ubuntu. And if we do an upgrade now, we should see actually this isn't going to show us, so let's do apt show one of these. Let's do apt show apt. What we should see is I'm just trying to think of a way to demonstrate what architecture we're running on, which doesn't actually reach out to the host by way of the kernel, because the curious thing about this is that if I was to run like some ARM binaries on here that sort of extracted what OS I was running on, it would tell you that this ARM is running on a Threadripper, which is kind of fun. Mate Wayland's still work in progress. It's slowly catchy monkey on that one. it's being worked on. Yeah, I think that's just going to pass through to the host though, isn't it? -m. Oh no, there we go. Good job. Good job. Thank you, Neil. There we go. So, and it is out because that's the machine designation. So there we go. We have an ARM container running on this box. So that's architecture support. Let's do this. Let's do deb bootstrap 1804. I think 1804 has what we need. Let's do old. We'll call it old, and we'll provide i386. This is going to work. It might work. No, I didn't think so. I need to do some more work to stand. Oh. Yeah. So i3. Yeah, this is why we need to gate the i3 because it's only partial, isn't it? Okay. It was actually dropped. 1804 Ubuntu proper. Yeah, okay. That's not going to work. I have to gate all of that stuff. But we could bootstrap. Let's do what we said we should do, which is we'll call this pi again. And hopefully it should run a bit quicker this time because, well, there you go. Significantly quicker because we had that not just cached the packages in the apt-cacher, but we've got a whole file system cached. So if we now run pi again, there we go, we're in our new container. So that's bringing up these things much quicker on second run throughs, and we can do a list, and there they are. So we can then remove pi again, and remove old because that's nothing we're interested in, and then won't call it pi, let's call it army. There we go, and there we go, nice and fast. Great. Okay, that's working well. I think we'll tick that off the list. I'm pretty happy with that. Right, I need to get Control J in my muscle memory. So add support for other architectures. Tick. There we go. Which the ARM company hates. Yeah, it's the whole machine naming, the machine architecture naming thing is a bit of a mess, really, isn't it? The fact that even across distributions we don't use the same stuff, it's a bit annoying. Yeah, well, AArch is the internal platform, isn't it, that they use in their tech documents. Right. Okay. I'm responding to Neil's comments here, who's talking about, you know, the peculiarities of architecture and machine naming conventions in different distributions and what have you. Hello, Pink is Pretty. Welcome to the stream. Just wondering, let's have a look. Let's bring this up so I can see it because I can't see it over there. So just wondering, is the fact that Ravit65 seemed to have stepped back an issue for the Mate desktop project? Just looking at GitHub, it will certainly have an impact because he has been a significant contributor for many years. So yeah, it'll have an impact. But there are about half a dozen people who are, you know, doing lots of good work. So it's fine, and I expect that through some other projects that are kicking off in Germany, I think we'll attract some more contributors over the coming years as well. So not ideal, but not the end by any means. And that's Wolfgang, by the way. So Ravit65 is one of the core Mate desktop team, and Wolfgang has been contributing to Mate desktop since the very beginning, I think. Certainly before I got involved. Right, okay. That's right, Neil. So Ravit is the Fedora Mate maintainer. Wolfgang Ulbrich is his name. Right then. Call their architecture Bob. Oh, you and Bob. You'd have loved it in the old 8-bit days with Bob and Weave in the sprite engines, Yannick. Bob, Weave, Sink and Flob, I seem to remember, were the four the four names that we used in everything. So where did we get to? We've got here. So check the required tools are installed. That's a bit of a chore. I don't want to do that. I mean, I have to do it at some point, but it's a bit boring. And Neil sent me information on that. And this is when it really gets... Oh, and this is the other thing we need to do. We need to add support for container booting. Which I wonder if we can demo that with machine control. I think we can. So I'm just wondering. Oh, binding. Okay, so I wonder if... So I need to... What I need to do is do some research because I don't recall. I want to know if I bind things, if that's a persistent change or something that needs to be done every time that container is brought up. So that's a little bit of homework I need to do to figure out how to architect some of the other ideas I've got. But somewhere here... Oh, it's not machine couple, is it? It's systemd-nspawn, which is actually the tool I'm using to... There we go, here we go. -- boot. So let's think about this. Let's do this. Let's go here. First of all, let's not use an ARM container. So machine spawn list. We've got Bob. Okay, so we're going to use Bob, Yannick. I'm sure you're delighted. We're going to run Bob. We're going to... we don't need sudo. We're going to apt update. Hello, Big Pod. Welcome back. Are you still in meetings, or are you done yet? And we'll upgrade that. And then we will install... well, I'm not sure what we'll do. I think we'll apt install SSH. I really don't know how this is going to go, because I've never done this before. At least I haven't done it with systemd. So we're going to drop out of this container. So we're out. We'll now flip over to this terminal here. And in fact, we're gonna hack it quick and dirty style. We're gonna change. In fact, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. If we do run, what was the second parameter? Run name. Let's go and look at what container run does. So it will do... Oh, it's the command. Ooh, okay, that will work. So that could be... So we don't need that there. That's pointless. I think we'll just... So I'm just thinking of the quickest, dirtiest way I can tack this thing on the end, and I think this is my option.
Thank you for subscribing det_Conan_Kudo.
Thank you very
P1NK underscore is underscore pretty gifted a tier 1 sub to det_Conan_Kudo.
Oh.
This is their first gift sub in the channel.
Pretty is pink. Thank you very much. That's very kind. And the fact that Neil got that is terrific. Lovely. Thank you very much. Very good of you. Right then. Let's do that. Oh no, actually, we're gonna really YOLO it. Let's just do this. I think... What did I... What, I just need to check the man page again. Control J. So boot was in the list of things. So you see here it says -- boot. So if we just search the man page for that. There we go. Which is not the default. Okay. A shell is launched in if boot is not used and no arguments are specified. A shell. Yeah, okay. So I probably don't even need to specify a command. Here we go. Automatically search for the init process. This is it. So we've stuffed systemd inside the container. So let's see what this does. We'll just YOLO it and put that in there and just see what behavior we get. But what we'll do is we'll run this from a container, because from a terminal, because I think this will take over this TTY, I think. So machinespawn run Bob. So I think the way we could do this is, instead of run, yeah, we could call it run, we could create a new action called boot rather than co-opting run. That's probably the right way to go about this. couldn't have happened to a nicer person. So thank you, Pink is pretty. That was very kind, and you've made Neil's day. Right then, let's see what happens. This, I think I'm going to lose control of this. There we go. So, I'm not sure I'm happy about what's just happened there. Control D. What is it now? It's actually... There we go. So it was the container Bob. It's just I saw the host name of this machine there, and this, I have made some tragic mistakes doing this in the past. There was the occasion where I thought I was dead bootstrapping a container, and I was actually dead bootstrapping ARM root file system over the top of my running root file system. Happy days, backups. Make sure you got your backups. So I think that did the right thing, but I don't have any users created, or at least the root user doesn't have a password, and there are no users. So we're going to go and add a boot command, because why not? I mean, boot is basically identical to this, except we don't do that. So I don't. Who was that? Yannick. So yeah, that I was a little concerned for a moment there. Well, I'm glad that cheered you up. Isn't that nice? So I think we want to keep I also want to try this out. So we've got this command thing. I think if we do that, and then this should just be cmd blank. No, we do need to provide something. We do need to provide something. So we override that there, but what if we say let's do this. If I'm just trying to augment this to be a boot command. If cmd equals I'm thinking, can I overlay the function name and all sorts? Just trying to have a little think about how I want to do this. I don't want to have a bunch of repeated code, but I also don't want to have two functions that are doing different things competing with one another, because when I come to use the ability to inject commands in, this is going to get really messy. So you've got channel points now, have you, Yannick? Right, what are we going to do here?
Thank you for the follow, Carlo_death.
Hello, Carlo. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. What to do? Yeah, it's possible. It is possible, but I am having to think about it a little bit more than is comfortable. Out of curiosity, why is it important to have a booted container? Okay, that is a good question. I will switch to this view to answer it. I want to be able to boot a container in much the same way that a VM would be booted, because my hope is I can run a full desktop distro inside that container and really test stuff. So that's why I want to do it, and I also want to do it because it's something I've never done before. So it's sort of a journey of discovery. So that's what I want to do. I want to boot the container as though it's an actual machine, goes through a full init process, and then maybe with some good use of bind mounts and exposing sockets and things, I should be able to do everything. What I'd like to do is, if I can get that work, I don't think I need the init piece working, but I showed when I was prototyping this Wednesday last week, I showed that running Steam inside a container, and I want this to get to that level of compatibility. So the second argument, you understand. I want to learn how to do it. But also, it would be nice if you've seen how quickly you can stand up containers with this compared to standing up VMs, because there's so much caching we can layer. It would be really nice if I have a build environment, I can build new versions of things and then test it. But I'm interested to see how it works, because what I'm actually interested in is things like running containers that are more like virtual machines, that have got some services inside them, some complex, multi-service architectures. So, I'm just interested. So, yes, you could boot an ARM container that could run Ubuntu Mate for the Pi on an x86 workstation. That is potentially possible. I don't know how easy it's going to be, but certainly it's a possibility. So you can see the bits coming together now, add architecture support, add boot support, and get quite fun with it. Hey, Andy Hazen, hello, how the devil are you? Not seen you for a while. Yes, Andy, I have seen DistroBox, and in fact, if that was my sole motivation, I would just use it. I have used it, it's great. So let's show other people who aren't familiar what DistroBox is, because it is terrific. This is it, and pictures is all you need. There you go, all the distros, and you'll see here everything imaginable. So yeah, that's a nifty project, and you know, I did say, sorry, Andy, I know you've not been around for a bit, but I'm not trying to recreate DistroBox or LexD or anything like that. I've found a workflow that I use a lot, and I'm trying to build a more general purpose tool that I can use for local throwaway build environments, but also that work in exactly the same way in CI/CD. So once I've tested something, I know that I can run a release in GitHub and I'm going to get the same artifacts. And the first proof of that approach is the OBS Studio Portable builds for Ubuntu, where I can validate that everything's building and working correctly locally, and I can tag a release in GitHub and I know I'm going to get 32 builds of OBS Studio out that all work correctly. So yeah, so that's sort of the first implementation of this idea, and I want to build it out there more. It's a workflow I want to make part of the fabric of how I do stuff. But DistroBox is great. If no one's played with DistroBox yet, you should definitely give it a go. And yeah, this is what I want to get to, is pass through all of this stuff, so automatically connect your home directory and your audio and your display managers and all the rest of it. But I did play with this a while ago now. Might have been like Christmas, New Year time. Had a lot of fun with this. It's terrific. Right then, let's get back in here. So I was just putting my thinking cap on about how I'm going to do this, because I was just trying to get to the point where we get bootable containers. And I'm actually not sure which way I want to go with how I want to manage that. So I think what I'm getting towards here is some wrapper functions. So we'll break these down into cache init, cache clean. That can be an nspawn function that we can pass whether it's in boot or run mode, and then we can have two functions and they're all sharing non-repeating code. So I think that's the way I'm going to go with this. But so just to show Andy what did I just do? Wow, that was exciting. That was a new keyboard combination that launched me into the unknown. So just to show Andy what this does is a bunch of things. And it's pretty simple stuff. Stuff you've probably seen before.
Thank you for the follow, DHHYI.
Wow, that's an unusual name. Hello, DHHYI. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So, this is machinespawn. So, I'm going to do machinespawn. Let's just see what machines we've got, because I can't remember what we created. I don't think we've got many. Oh yeah, we're okay. So here we go. Got a couple of good examples. So what we're going to do is we're going to machine spawn, and this is going to use deb bootstrap for Ubuntu 22.04, and we'll call this one Fred, and we're going to make this an ARM64 container. So that's to set the container up. And now if we run this container and we do this, we're running an ARM64 container on an x86 workstation, and that used the cached assets from the previous run. So this is all transparently hooking into apt-cacher-ng for package caching. It injects all of the proxying inside the containers, so when you're running the containers, they're talking to the apt cache on the host. So all of the like bootstrapping and package caching is sort of transparently optimized. It's not magical, you know, it's just a couple of config files that are injected into the containers. And then we can also, you know, just bootstrap a new one called Winkle, and this will default to ARM64. And that's curious, it did not default to ARM64, AMD64. Why did that not work? So why is this fallen over? Looks like we've introduced a bug when we added the architecture support. No such file or directory. So couldn't download. Oh, have I done with the ARM64? So I've clearly introduced a bug. I'm probably going to have to go and look at this. I've introduced a bug where that is looking. I wonder if I've got a typo. I think that's what I've done. I think we've got a typo in the bootstrapper. I think we may be defaulting to the wrong architecture. Oh no, we're not. AMD 64. No, that is the correct thing. So why does it say ARM 64? Have I accidentally I think I might have accidentally put clattered the caches. I'll have to unpick that. Anyway, that was supposed to be a nice demo, but of course it's so either a folder like a chroot, or it has the facility to pull in a tarball of a root file system. Looks like it supports multiple architectures as well, but although I'm not 100% certain on that yet because we've not tested it. But I'm using Deb Bootstrap here because I want the flexibility of being able to bootstrap variant. In fact, that's something I need to add to my to-do list. Add support for Deb Bootstrap variants, because if I'm doing a quick build, I just need the build D variant, for example. I don't need to pull down the whole base OS. But there's in addition to that, there is a facility machine control has called pulltar, and that you pass it a URL to a tarball of a root file system, and that works except on systemd-249 where there's a bug which means it's busted. So I've just got a little workaround if you're running systemd-249, which is what's present in 2204 currently, to do the download of the tarball using wget effectively, and then import that tarball rather than rely on the busted function. Yes, Yannick, you make a good point. It is getting late, and my tea is almost gone. I'll chat to you tomorrow, Yannick. Have a good one. So I think I've got enough to-do list items. So I'm going to be looking at this again tomorrow. We'll take a look at this tomorrow, and we'll see if we can fix what I broke, add the booting support. Maybe we'll start looking at things. In fact, if we just switch back to the editor here, we need things like user provisioning potentially, and we need home. Not provisioning. It's a good guess, GitHub Copilot, but we want mounting, maybe. I'm not quite sure what the other add support for other container types. There's a nice generic GitHub Copilot suggestion there. No, I want to bind mount, bind sockets for things like audio and video and display servers. Audio and display servers. Display servers. I can't think of anything other than audio and display servers that's more pressing. So display servers and authority. That'll do it. That's probably as much as we need to get started. Get it to the point where we can run, build some graphical applications in the container we've just created, and then, you know, execute that. Yeah, it's a toy project at the moment, and it's not even in GitHub yet. I did say that I'd stick it in GitHub, but I don't think I'm ready to do that. I think we will push that. We'll put that at the top of the list. We will publish in GitHub. I think we'll make that the #1 priority tomorrow. So I think I'll unpick the bugs that I've just introduced, adding the architecture support, and then we'll push it to Git, and then I can start working on some of this stuff, because I also want to do starting and stopping the container so we can run services in it, and enabling and disabling. So I have some interest in having some persistent containers, and I don't see why I couldn't use this. But it's a journey of discovery to learn some of this stuff a bit better. But the container booting is definitely what I want to get working tomorrow. I definitely want variants working as well. So yeah, there's a new list of stuff to burn down tomorrow. So I think I'll do a stream tomorrow morning European time. I won't be doing one tomorrow evening European time, because I'll be recording the Linux Downtime podcast. So if you like a bit of Linux, this is a... Oops. Mistyped that. That's the podcast I do with my friends, Joe Ressington, Gary and Hayden Barnes. So if you like a bit of that stuff, have a listen. A bit late for me. Yeah, it's getting late. It's 1:45, so yeah, the brain's just beginning to start struggling. So probably a good time to knock it on the head whilst I've still got all my faculties. Right then, we will click on this. We've got, this is somewhere we've been before. It's a great channel. So we're going to go raiding. Gosh, I did some experimenting at the beginning of the stream as well, and that's now getting difficult to deal with. So let's do this. So thank you all for coming. I stream a few times a week. I'm only streaming till Wednesday this week, then I'm taking a week away. So I'll have a gap, but I'm streaming up to Wednesday, and I'm going to try and do 3 more streams by Wednesday. So stop by again, say hello. And Neil, I'll look at the stuff you sent me. Distro support. I definitely want to get that working tomorrow as well. But for now, I'm going to say ta-ta, and we're heading over to, how do we pronounce this? CM Griffin. They do lots of Linuxy open sourcey stuff too. See you soon. Bye-bye.